YouTube, we back at it again, and today, if you've been struggling with your tapers or enhancements, because I'm gonna get into the enhancements on this one, this is a great video for you, especially as a beginner. I like to keep my tutorial simple and efficient. So today we're gonna do a mid taper, and if you've been here for a while, we break the haircuts down into 4 steps. If you're new, I have a 4-step system that I like to apply to any haircut. And this first step is the prep work. So in the prep work, we're just taking the haircut down to the desired length, breaking it down into sections so it's manageable, and we can do the same thing over and over again. So when we take the haircut down to the desired length, obviously we're gonna do our consultation with the client. We're gonna get an understanding of what they're looking for, and we can make any recommendations if needed. But now, when we take the haircut down to the desired length, he likes to keep it dark. So we have a 1.5 guard on there and just going with the grain, making sure that, especially on the waver, you comb through the hair first. So any hairs that's laid down to the scalp, you can lift them up and get a better cut through that hair. So I'm going to speed the rest of this process up because basically we're doing the same thing all around the head. We're taking our time and we're going with the grain. And be mindful of their growth pattern. Sometimes the hair grows in many different directions and it swirls and calyx in the head. You want to be mindful not to go against the grain on those because you can actually leave patches in your client's head. And last but not least, we're just wiping the lineup areas down. I'm using Sea Breeze, but you can use alcohol, or sometimes you can use an aftershave astringent, depending on which one. And so now we're getting into setting our guidelines for our taper. We're doing a mid taper today with no C-cup. So I took on the sides, I like to keep my tapers elongated, especially even if they're not getting the C-cup, just so it leaves room for me to fade. So on the back, you see I'm leaving a nice guideline, but on the side, I started from a very low point on that vertical bar. I didn't go high on setting that ball line because I want to leave space for me to really stretch out that blend, if you can see what I mean. So starting out for the taper, we have our lever fully open, and this is just our first initial guideline. So the only guidelines we set are our ball line and then the lever open, and we fade out the ball line immediately. We close the clipper all the way up, and then we're gonna open it up halfway, going to the middle of that fade area. And today we are executing the 2-guard system. I like to keep my guards in my hand. We're jumping right to the 1.5 guard. And our idea with this, since we went with the grain 1.5 close, when we come back against the grain 1.5 open, it will just smooth down and debulk this fading area. We don't have to jump around using a bunch of guards. We can just use 2 and still get our desired result achieved. So as I come lower into that fading area, I'm going to gradually close my clipper up and also smooth it out with some whip the grain technique. And immediately we jump straight to our 1.5 guard. Our half guard. And we had it all the way open, executing it like a 1. And as we close it halfway and close it fully, we're just going to go lower and lower into that taper area. And notice how I'm using my corners. I'm angling the clipper to go against the grain of the haircut. So when you're cutting down to the desired length, unless the client asks you specifically to go against the grain, you're usually going to go with the grain. But when we're fading, we want to make sure we're cutting down the hair as evenly as possible. So we want to go against the grain with the directional pattern of the hair growth. And notice how I'm using my corner to get up in some higher areas, which is basically thinning out a dark spot. And so for the back taper, I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I'm gonna just shut up and I'm gonna speed it up a little bit.
Baby, give me some cash.
So like they say, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So we kept our process super simple, which allows us to get it done efficiently. And so moving on to the lineup, I like to keep any lineup I do as full as possible. This just helps the hair or the haircut last as long as possible, because it's not going to be as much new growth when you're pushing and digging in people's lines. So I'm naturally just going with the outermost part where I can leave a nice prominent lineup that pops.
Baby, give me some cash.
And as I work my ways around the ear, I'm always using the ergonomics of the clipper and the trimmer blade to my advantage. And for those who like to ask what's on my hand, I currently have a tan pencil, on my hand. And I like to tap the trimmer on there every now and again when I'm lining up to give it a nice pop. And so we do the same thing on the other side. You can kind of see where the lineup actually wants to be placed. So sometimes it's good to just step back and let your eyes reset and see exactly where that lineup wants to go. And like I said, using my ergonomics of that trimmer to work my way around the ear. And nice and clean. So for the front lineup, when we start in the middle, to make sure we're keeping everything balanced, we're going to place a nice and even balanced initial guideline in that middle. And then we're just going to walk it to each corner. So I'm slowly taking my time and just walking that straight line to the corner. And I find this is one of the best ways to achieve balance. Another good way I have in some of my other videos is to go ahead and set your vertical bars first. But these are both techniques you can use to make sure you're getting very nice and balanced lineups. So as I walk it to the corner, you will see on the other side a little bit better, but I'm just visually taking note of where that vertical bar and that top line wants to meet for a nice angle and a nice sharp point. And it's okay to take your time and,
Give me some cash.
continually go over the line, not push the line in, but just comb through the hair, make sure you're getting any free hanging hairs, and make sure you're achieving balance, because it's not going to always be perfect just the first time you do the line. Like the first time you tap the trimmer, it's not going to just be perfect automatically. So you want to make sure you're taking your time and using your tool to your advantage to get your desired result. And you see what I mean? I'm visually taking note of where I should stop and where that vertical bar is going to meet with that top line. And we always like to use reference points. So I'm measuring out where that vertical bar is placed at, so I can go on the other side and I can do the exact same thing. We don't have to do no guesswork at all. And trust me, these are the little things that's gonna save you so much time, and doing eyeball tests and looking back and forth and keep having to touch things up. Trust me, once I start implementing references and taking note of the angles I'm using and whatnot, everything began to become much easier. And so moving on to the enhancements, we're in the last part of the haircut. We're in the detail work. We're making everything just pop a little bit more. We're not making a new line here. We're placing the card on the edge of the line, and we're misting that enhancement, focusing at that line and letting it kind of breeze past it to also give it natural gradients. You don't want the very outer edge of your lineup just look super black because you applied enhancements directly on that one area.
Baby,
You want
give
to
me some cash.
angle your enhancement so it can breeze past that outer edge, but also onto the haircut. And we just lock that in with some holding spray. And what this does is keep everything locked in. And once we can go over it one more time just to sharpen it up with our trimmer, it's gonna pop a lot. He gonna leave out the chair, and people gonna be like, dang bro, who cut your hair? And that's a new client locked in that they gonna send you. So we just locking it in right now. And the last part we're gonna do after this is get our razor and just bring it all the way out another level. Making sure we're angling our razor blade 30 degrees. We're stretching the skin and letting the razor do the work. These razors are very sharp. You buy them for a reason, so it can get those stubble hairs. Let it do the work. Don't force it and end up nicking the client. So YouTube, that's pretty much the mid-taper tutorial. As you can see, we keep things simple and efficient over here. If that's something you can rock with, leave a comment down below. Let me know how you like the cut, and subscribe for more simple and efficient haircut tutorials. And I'll catch you on the next one. We drop every Sunday, so stay tuned.